gotta come back with me. Where?
Hello there. Once again, it is time to take another revealing peek back into history.
What famous date shall I set it to today?
Once again, it's time for Throwback Thursday, a second chance to look at some truly awful podcasts. No, wait, a second chance to see how far Vicis Interimo has come over the last 8 years. New episodes will be released pretty much weekly, but Thursdays I've reserved for throwbacks to see how far we've come. A lot of the information on here no longer applies, whether that be businesses or links that may not work anymore, so be advised of that. But again, I want to thank the patrons that we have at this time, though they may not have been here the first time these episodes were recorded. I am thanking them again because they're helping us move forward with our new episodes. And those are patrons such as At Lonely Bob, Big Al V, and Goldafish. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoy what you hear.
Welcome to the Freak Show.
Welcome to 30 Minutes to Kill. Okay, thank you for joining us for episode 17. We're going to cover two movies. The main horror movie that we're covering is Paranormal Activity. Another movie that I want to speak briefly about is Six String Samurai. A few announcements and other things to talk about. I have already signed us up, and we're joining the Penny Cult Network of podcasters. So I'm also going to be talking about a couple other podcasts that you should check out. Check out Action Attraction, featuring Metal Mikey. They're in Michigan. And also from Michigan, check out Gray. And Gray has the Dark Hours podcast, both of which I think you will enjoy. I know you'll especially enjoy Gray's podcast if you like our podcast. There are certain similarities, though he works with a gentleman by the name of the Cutter, but he and I have talked, and we're going to try to maybe hook up and do a little bit of cross-promotion, maybe have him show up on this show, and that would be good. Also, Metal Mikey, you may be familiar if you listen to the Cadaver Lab. He occasionally makes a call in there. So since the other movie that we're doing is more of an action movie as opposed to horror, I thought it'd be a good idea to plug him. Lori, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I hadn't heard anything from you yet.
You're just talking away. I thought I would just sit here and listen.
Okay. Well, did you have anything to add to the Laid to Rest segment?
I don't know. You tell me what's on our list.
I guess I should actually do an outline and maybe hand it to you. And
That'd be great. I'm just in the dark over here.
Okay. Well, we did want to talk a little bit about what BagEnd.biz was. We had a question about that. BagEnd.biz is where we tie all of our entrepreneurial endeavors together. So you can go there and check that out. It's kind of in shambles right now. I'm working on the website as we speak. I'm going to put a back end in there featuring our podcast stuff. But for right now, we have Disciples Crosses listed. We also have our Miskatonic shirts there. And first of all, what are Disciples Crosses?
Oh, well, they're a handmade cross necklace. These particular ones, I make them all myself.
Are you authorized to do that?
How am I authorized to do that? Yes, it is a trademark design. Is that what you were looking for?
That's what I was looking for.
How in depth would you like me to go?
Just a quick overview. We don't want this to turn into a big commercial.
Yes, they're made out of 4 horseshoe nails, which I bend myself. And you have to go online and look at them. It's very hard to describe them, I guess, and get a picture in your mind. But, they're basically horseshoe nails, colored wire, and they're strung up on a black adjustable cord. So it makes a really nice necklace. You can tighten it up and wear it like choker style, or you could wear it long. That's how I wear mine.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool. They can go there to the website and get a idea of what they look like.
Yep.
And what else do we have? We have our T-shirts there. We have a few of the black ones listed there. If you're interested in those, contact us, and we can see about getting you one. If you're interested, you can also check out the Cafe Press ones. Can't speak to the quality of the Cafe Press. We should have one of those arriving here soon, so we can tell you a little bit better how good the quality of those are. But they do feature the Vicis Interimo logo, as well as the Miskatonic, the Miskatonic shirts also. But if you're looking for just a straight black one, the best bet is to give us a call here.
Yeah, we're running low on them, so...
That's true. I gave out so many of them to podcasters, didn't I?
Stop giving them away. So, all right, you guys, you all need to send them back.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Okay, well, enough of that before this becomes just one big commercial. I'm sure that's not why folks tuned in.
No.
What you want to hear about is the upcoming Wishmaster episode that's going to be on Horophilia. I'm going to be joining those guys this Monday for an episode that will air later in that week.
That'll be fun.
That should be interesting.
Brilliant.
And also, the next episode that we're going to be is a movie called The Good Sisters. And I'm excited to see that because I have no idea what it's going to be. The Good Sisters, it says it will jumpstart the idle heart of the occult genre. That sounds promising.
Let's hope so, yeah.
See.
I'm a little scared.
It's also one of the most hauntingly erotic films to bewitch the horror genre in ages. Wow, that's...
Where are you getting that?
I'm reading it off the copy of the actual screener disc that I got. So I'm looking forward to this. This may be wonderful. It could be awful. But, I love cinema that just isn't mainstream. Is that what I'm looking for?
Yes.
Okay, that's it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It's the unrated psychosexual director's cut, so this might be a racier episode than usual. But
we'll find out.
And we'll let you know what to look for there and if you should look for it and where to find it. So that's an episode next time. Look for that. And in the meantime, let's get on with our review.
Good idea.
Vicis Interimo is now a proud member of pettycult.com. That sounds like petticoat. That's not what I said. It's pennycult.com, where you can find cool podcasts like Action Attraction featuring Metal Mikey. If you're looking for a break from horror films, I can't really imagine why, but just in case you are, Metal Mikey reviews action films. So check him out. Go to pennycult.com. What are our movies tonight, Lori?
I believe it's Paranormal Activity.
Yep.
And, for some reason, Six String Samurai. Why are you laughing?
Well, you said for some reason.
It's not exactly a horror.
It's not horror, and I only wanted to bring up a few small points.
Oh, that's cool.
It actually ties in with the penny cult thing. There's, I actually will have covered this in the other segment. So, since we're supporting or going to do a promo here for Action Attraction, this will be our action movie. And we'll probably leave these up to Metal Mikey from now on. But I did see this movie. I did enjoy it. And there's a few things to talk about there, though you might argue otherwise.
There's a few things.
Okay, well, let's start with Paranormal Activity. That was a recommendation of Borps after the last interview that I had with him. What did you think about it? What did you think about it yesterday? Let me ask you a letter like that.
What did I think about it yesterday?
What did you think about it yesterday?
Okay, because I like it a little less today.
Exactly. So let's start when you first saw it, you sat down, we watched it. What did you think?
I had a little trouble with it, like the characters, whatever, the couple in there. I didn't find them believable, and I remember saying to you right off, like, "Oh my gosh, what's with the bad acting?" And it wasn't supposed to be like a movie. It was supposed to be a real people documentary style, but they weren't selling it for me personally.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean because you know what, I have to tell you, I did something today I don't normally do. I mean, I've never done this before. We did a movie review before, but I actually went on Netflix today just to see what other people had to say about it.
Really?
Because I think it's a really good way to get an idea of what other people. I mean, Netflix, there's you'll find thousands of reviews for one movie,
right.
And it's a pretty good cross section, I think, of just movie viewers. But yeah, it was a love it or hate it kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I think, the people who really loved it and thought it was so scary, like it just about gave them a heart attack, you have to horror, we've said this before, horror is very personal. And if you believe in, supernatural, if you're a spiritual person, if you believe that the devil's out there, that demons are out there, there was some pretty scary scenes in it, which I actually liked some of the scenes a lot, so I really have a hard time saying, I didn't really care for the movie. Overall, I did not care for it.
Well, I definitely agree that it's polarizing because I have the exact opposite view of you. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I absolutely see where you're coming from, and I understand your criticisms and the other criticisms that I've heard of the movie. But for me, it did work. I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie ever, or that it's as good as, say, The Exorcist or something of that nature.
Oh, well, it's a totally different kind of thing.
Right. But it was good for me. It worked. There were problems occasionally with the acting. There were 2 or 3 scenes, and I started out initially distracted watching it a little bit just because, hey, who's working the camera and who's doing these edits and so on? If this is found footage. Is this going to be, from the police station later on after somebody's done it, or is this just going to be...
Which is what it was. It was after they'd found it, and whoever is supposed to be showing it to the world, they edited it for us.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
I don't know. Well, I assumed.
Okay.
I mean, because there was all the time-lapse stuff.
Right,
all that.
right. Absolutely.
It wasn't I believe Blair Witch, it was you knew every time they turned the camera on or off. It was click, and then they would start talking to the camera, and then they would shut it off.
Yeah.
So this was wait a minute, the camera popped on, and they're just sitting there eating breakfast. Who turned on the camera? The demon turned on the camera. No, I was very distracted by that at first. And then I was like, oh, okay, somebody found the footage and then edited it for us to watch.
Okay.
I assume. I don't know. What do you think?
I didn't think of it past that much, which is kind of... Well, ironic isn't quite the right word for me. Yeah, because usually I'm picking everything apart. But first of all, let's go back and say, what else did you have to say about Netflix? Did you find out anything more about that, or was it
it was pretty much people fighting over, it was someone saying, oh my God, I went through experiences like this myself. This movie just I'm not going to sleep tonight. It's, I wish I would have never watched it. I'm damaged forever now for watching this thing. It's so scary. But then other people would come on and go, this stuff's not real, right? There's no such thing as demons or ghosts, or give me a break. It wasn't scary. So people who, like I said, it's very personal.
Okay.
If you believe in that sort of thing, which I absolutely do. So some of those scenes were, it's so hard to say because overall I didn't care for it. I didn't like the people. Oh, my God, could that guy be any more annoying?
Yes, he could have, but not by much.
Oh, he drove me crazy. I was like, dude, you're so stupid. Stop it.
Before we go much further, I'm just going to cut you off.
Yeah, please stop me.
Okay. Let me ask you this: what would your rating for the film be if you were going to give it a 1 to 10? Because what we're going to talk about a little bit may give spoilers a little bit later on here. Okay. But before we do that, just if people want to skip it, I don't think anybody's really listening to us that much, but just in case, you know.
There's a couple of you out there who are listening.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, I always feel like I should be using your little scale, and I never have it here in front of me. But I don't know, just sort of off the top of my head, out of, 1 to 10, I'd probably about a 3.
Inconceivable!
A 3. Wow. Okay.
It's not something I would sit down and watch again, and I'd be careful who I would
recommend it to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I would give it probably myself. I would maybe give it a 6, but personally, I would think of it as more of a 7.
I was going to say I'm surprised I thought you would go higher.
Well, I did, because I did like it. I did like it a lot, and
you're going to have to tell me what you liked about it.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and this, well, yeah. I won't say I've had experiences like this, because then it just sounds all goofy and weird. But I know what she went through, because yes, I did have a single experience like this, and I don't think it was a demon or anything else. It was, it's what is generally referred to as night terrors. So I had an experience where there was something standing at the edge of the bed with a very big head, and I don't think it was Gonzo. Actually, I didn't know Gonzo back then. Anyhow, I had an experience where, like I said, there was a shadow there. There was something standing at the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It picked the bed up and actually dropped the bed. And not up over his head or whatever, but just raised the foot of the bed up, 2 or 3 feet or whatever, and let it go. I was absolutely terrified. I couldn't move, etc. Now, I never actually shared this with anybody else. I mean, I've told other people since then, but at that time, I didn't tell anybody about the experience. I've since done research and found that this is actually a relatively common experience, and it usually falls under the category of night terrors. Mm-hmm. So, for me, that was one of the things watching this movie. I actually, and I wouldn't say I was scared, but I did feel, it did get my pulse racing a little bit. It wasn't scary per se, but there were some moments in there.
Right.
And this is maybe, like I said, where spoilers come in. So if you guys don't want to hear any more, I'm going to say go ahead and skip ahead for a couple of minutes till you hear some music. Because, we are going to talk a little bit about what happened there. With the demon pulling her out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was intense. It could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I knew I was watching.
No, it absolutely wasn't. That's why I'm saying I have a problem with, and it's funny because I saw other people write reviews where they were like, okay, this movie was complete crap with a couple of perfect moments in it, and I can understand what they mean. Because those moments are what made it frightening, but there was so much crap in between you had to get through.
Well, that's why,
and it all happened right at the end.
That's why I bought it, though, because there was so much. If it was actually happening, if that was a real event, that's how I would picture it happening. I would have pictured a lot of lame, just do nothing, whatever, and then a few, intense scenes here and there. Now, having said that, though, there were some scenes that were so intense that you'd have got out of the house, you'd have got some help. I can't believe I waited that long to call the demonologist. I know that she was the one haunted, and it was attached to her, so leaving didn't work. But to me, it was ridiculous, him jumping out there, looking around and stuff.
Who's there? Who's there?
Yeah, you caught it on film already as being an invisible entity.
Yeah, the guy was an idiot.
What are you looking for? What are you expecting to see? Why are you sneaking around? You know what I mean?
And tell me, and something else that really bothered me in the movie, and I was happy to see other people discussing it as well, turn the frickin' lights on. You're in a dead sleep, you hear something banging or moving.
Yeah.
Do you turn the lights on, or do you fumble around in the dark with your little spotlight?
Yeah, well...
And I understand it was and that's where the movie just didn't quite translate for me if it's a found foot, because I liked the Blair Witch Project. I know a lot of people thought that was lame too.
Yeah.
But they were out in the dark, pitch dark, forest. All they had was their stupid little spotlight.
Right.
That was believable. If I'm in my house, especially a modern home with all the cool lighting fixtures and all the modern, turn on your stinking lights.
Well,
You're not going to run around in the dark going, oh my God, what was that, with your just the little camera spotlight looking in little corners. I know it was, so it was scary for us.
Yeah.
Because it was very unsettling. I was like, dang it. That you just can just see this tiny little few feet of light, and it's all dark. Yeah, that made it scary, but it wasn't believable for me.
Right.
For the story.
Right. Well, and the other thing is,
out on the street anyway. I wouldn't be in that stupid house.
But it wasn't the house; it was her. But
I don't care.
But quickly, exactly. You'd still surround yourself with more people, or you would have been, whatever. The other thing is, a flashlight. You know what I mean? Even if after the first time it happened, I can understand maybe not turning on the house lights or whatever, but like, wouldn't you keep a flashlight by the bed or whatever if you know what I mean? Just to be prepared. And that was my thing is for him, he was a bit of a dick. He couldn't, for him laughing and joking, he wasn't taking it seriously. Then when he finally did take it seriously, things flipped again on him, but
well, and he didn't take it serious until like the very end. I mean, even when a little more of the more serious, as things were intensifying and this thing was getting a little more physical and stuff and things were breaking or whatever and moving, he was still like, it was like a joke to him, which I guess some people would take it that way, but it just, he was too frustrating to me, and yeah.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, like you said, there's probably 1,000 reviews out there, and they're probably saying similar to what we're saying.
It's totally a love it or hate it kind of thing. I mean, I couldn't believe some of the people in there were like, "Oh my God, this is the single most frightening thing I've ever witnessed or encountered," and I was like, "What?" Well,
I don't think Borp went that far with it, but I know that it was frightening for him and stuff, and I think that goes back to what we talked about for the age and the time and the place when you see these things. So I think that's one thing. But let's skip ahead.
The scary moments were scary. I will give it that.
I think,
like I said, I'm a believer in, you don't mess with that kind of stuff. If you've got to... What?
No, I was just going to say... I
saw your body language from over here, which... I'm sorry.
Just because...
All of a sudden you're like jumping up and down. You better... whatever you need to say.
Whatever. It's just funny to me because... Having said that, I did enjoy it and I did find it scary. I got to say, I was laughing quite often in there, only because, like, when the Ouija board burst into flames.
Yeah.
It was unsettling and stuff. I laughed. That maybe was a nervous response or whatever, but there was quite a bit to laugh about just because, there's some things that I would not mess with and not play with and so on, and him just bringing that into the house and doing whatever.
Well, maybe he's a good example of, he would be, if this guy from the movie sat and watched this movie, he would be a person that would hate it because he was not a believer. He still thought it was just funny and a joke. And, even when things started happening, he just whatever.
Yeah.
But so, if you believe in this sort of thing and if you've ever witnessed anything creepy or felt that cold chill in your house or something moved that, you didn't move, it would really affect you. Because, some of those scenes were really... Like you said, it kind of got my pulse racing a little bit, and I was like, oh, crap, Some people felt that, I keep talking about other people's reviews, but it's similar in my opinion. It did rely on the startle scare, so not all of them. Obviously not the scene where, if the covers are coming off slowly, or, when that thing grabs her and pulls her slowly out of bed. That was not a startle scare, but... That was probably the scariest part.
Yeah, definitely.
But I was always waiting for that. It was like totally silent and dark, and you're just sitting there, and I'm like, oh man, something's gonna go.
Something's gonna jump out pretty soon. Yeah.
So that kind of that helped to make it feel more scary for me, but it was like kind of like a false scare.
Right.
I was like, dang it, something's gonna jump out, and I don't feel like I don't need an adrenaline rush right now.
Right.
But,
okay.
So, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's skip to the ending because I still want to talk about 16 stick. Wow. I want to try to learn how to speak is what I want to do. I want to speak about Six String Samurai. So before we get to that, though, jump to the ending. You didn't like the ending?
The ending? No.
Either one?
No.
No.
It was too much of a movie ending.
Okay.
For me, I don't know if that makes sense or not.
I think it does. I actually liked the ending.
I guess if it was going to be a realistic, dramatic, this is found footage. This really happened in San Diego, and I've watched a ton of shows on demon possession, home possession. Things never quite. It just had a very Hollywood movie ending, and it kind of, if they were going to try to be really realistic, I don't think that was a realistic ending. Okay,
well, it went through a couple of different endings. The one you're referring to is him being thrown at the camera?
Either, take your pick.
Okay, that or
they were both kind of unbelievable. Yeah.
Okay, well, there was another ending out there that featured her coming back and just being in a catatonic state, time passing, her girlfriend calling, wanting to come over or whatever, then coming over later on, the police come later on. This is all done through time lapse. This whole time she's in a catatonic state. Police come in, grab the camera, and that's where it ends. Would that have worked better for you?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because we saw the ending we saw, and I was like, what? Really? That's really okay. And then we watched the alternate ending, and I didn't like it either. I guess we're sharing all of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The ending where she just walks up to the camera and then cuts her own throat.
Yeah.
Still for me that was kind of too big of an ending.
Well, I
don't know if I'm coming across. I don't know if I'm making sense.
It makes sense, but here's the other thing for me. It doesn't fit into the story, in my opinion. If the demon, it truly was her being possessed or her being stalked by this demon, I think it made more sense with her killing the boyfriend and then just being catatonic, and then the demon has her. He's claimed her as his. He saw the boyfriend as a threat. That's why he was taken out. And then, the demon is free to possess and do with her what he wants or whatever. That makes more sense. Now, there were several scenes in the movie that were taken out and added based on from the time that it was initially shot to the time that the rights were sold to the distributor, or not to the distributors, but to Paramount. Several scenes were cut, others were added and stuff. And I'll let you folks, look that up online if you want. Check Wikipedia, check IMDb, and see what was going on there. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. I'm going to give it a 6 only because there's no rewatchability. Personally, if you've been through anything like this or you believe in it, then I'm going to say it's a 7 or 8 for other people.
No, because see, I believe in it, and that sort of thing really affects me.
Okay.
But I'm still giving it a low, just because everything else was wrong.
Okay, well,
for me.
It depends on the person. Now, this actually ties into the next movie and stuff because I don't think you liked it as much as I did, but I have a high tolerance for things that other people find crappy. So
bad.
The next one is going to be Six String Samurai, and I'm going to put in some music here. So we'll talk about that in just a second. What you just heard there was some more music by the Red Elvises. We started the show with some Red Elvises. Here you just heard some Red Elvises, and you're going to hear some more at the very end of the show. I love that. That's your favorite band, right?
Absolutely.
That's actually their slogan.
It should be everybody. Yes.
That's their slogan. Your favorite band. But yeah, they are great. There's some, I would call them local boys, but I know they had a band in Russia, and stuff. But
well, they're local now. We've claimed them. They're ours.
yeah, they're here from the Redondo Beach area. And
Venice, actually. Venice, Santa Monica area.
and I thought it actually said Redondo Beach on there. Well, I looked them up on the Wikipedia. But you can't really necessarily trust everything.
Well, they got their start in Venice Beach just being street performers.
Yeah.
And I believe one of the first places to, have them actually come inside and do a show on a stage was Rusty's on Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
So I think they're more considered Venice, Santa Monica.
Okay.
They float around.
They do.
There are ours here in Redondo. There are sometimes they've done a lot of concerts out on our pier.
Yep.
Yes, originally from Russia. A couple of them. Limpopo was their band.
That's right.
Yeah, and a couple of them came here and started up a new band, Red Elvises.
And it's great. What do you call it? Surf? Russian surf music?
Russian folk surf music. I don't know.
Okay. Actually, yeah. If you go to Wikipedia, plug in, and you can see a picture of them performing there in 2010.
Oh, cool.
They got a chick with them. What's up with that?
I don't know.
Anyhow, we're supposed to be talking about Six String Samurai. I bring that up because the Red Elvises did the majority of the soundtrack for them.
You don't think they did all of it?
I'm only reading here that it says that the score for the film was composed along with the Red Elvises, and the latter provided the majority of the soundtrack. So there may be a couple.
Interesting, because a lot of the scenes, just the music in between scenes and stuff, in between scenes, that would be really small. In between action and between dialogue, whatever. It sounded very much like them. It had their flavor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm surprised they didn't do all of it.
Well, there may have been some other things that they were.
Are you sure? Are you reading on the Wikipedia though? Do they know what they're talking about? I liked it better than Paranormal Activity.
Oh my gosh! Really?
Of course.
Okay. I'm actually surprised to hear you say that.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it was entertaining.
Okay.
To be sure, had the Red Elvises in it. Yeah, it's another one of the. It's hard. I don't know.
Okay, well, one of the things it didn't seem to. I was going to say it didn't have a big budget, but it was made for having about $2 million, and it only made about $124,494 at the box office.
How much? No, don't say that again.
Okay. Yeah, that's really not.
It had to have been limited release. Was it just at the? Yeah,
limited release. Ran for several months, but it also ran other places too, and it was credited as. It was a fan favorite for. It got high reviews from Fangoria.
Fangoria.
Fangoria and Film Threat and Ain't It Cool News. They all thought it was a great post-apocalyptic musical satire. So
it's satire, all right. And you've said that it was not a horror, right? You did make
this is an action film.
It was a comedy.
Yeah, and it ties in, like I said, this ties in with check out Action Attraction over there at with Metal Mikey, and you can find that through the Penny Cult website. And I'll actually put a link to his show. Great. Okay, well let's resume here and. Let's give a synopsis of what the movie is about.
Okay.
Six String Samurai is set in an alternate history of America in which Russia has launched several nuclear warheads against the U.S. in 1957 and reduced most of the United States into an inhospitable desert. The government is entirely collapsed, save for the kingdom of Elvis, who rules Las Vegas, from Las Vegas to California. I don't know why that's not lost wages. That would make more sense. I guess they've lost everything at this point. So.
But yeah, there's no wages to be lost.
Right. The Red Army besieges Vegas, but lack of supplies and equipment keep them in check and not really. They're more of a gang just squabbling for territory. At the time the movie begins, Elvis has died, and the radio disc jockey announces a call for all musical virtuosos to come to Las Vegas to become the new king of rock and roll. And that's when Buddy, with his katana sheathed on the back of his guitar, starts heading for Las Vegas.
You said it right.
I did. We've also have Death stalking him. Death looks a lot like Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Yes, he does.
But
it's not him.
It's not him. You're sure?
No. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's not him. But at any rate, he's stalking Buddy, and so what do you think? You said you liked it okay. It was somewhat entertaining.
It was one of those movies where a lot of it was kind of a quest, kind of traveling kind of movie. Mm-hmm. It starts with him just walking down the road or whatever, and it just is little individual adventures as he's traveling.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where there was certain parts that just were really amusing to me and I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the movie as a whole.
Okay.
That seems to be my problem tonight with movies.
It does.
I'm liking individual scenes, but because, the story, you read the synopsis, that's kind of the background. They don't really go there. It just basically shows him walking across the desert trying to get to Vegas. That's the movie. But it's just little adventures along the way, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, and be forewarned that despite the fact of them maybe having a $2 million budget for the movie, you do see people with rebreathers, which feature a 5-gallon blue water tank with a hose on it. You see lots of duct tape.
Yes.
Duct tape, not duct tape. That's something different. Yeah, so the movie has the feel, and the clothes they were wearing are so tattered that it really seems like you know what I mean, you wouldn't wear those things anymore anyhow.
That's what I was wondering, where did the money go? If that figure's right, wherever you pulled that from, $2 million.
Yeah.
I know, equipment, and I know it's not just wardrobe and special effects or whatever. I know there's a lot more that goes into it, but yeah, just looking at it, it looked like, they made a pretty amusing movie on what they had. With a small budget, but
that seems like it should have been more there for that.
Yeah. Well, I hope the Red Elvises got a good chunk of cash for being, because they are in it. They didn't just do the music.
That's true. They're in there.
Yes, they're in the very beginning. So.
What it features is some mediocre martial arts at best. At least that's what I would say.
No, it was like watching Xena.
I think Xena was even better than that, some of the martial arts. This guy was actually...
But there's nothing wrong with that. I have to say, I just insert right here, I'm the biggest Xena weenie fangirl that ever lived, so almost. I'm in the top 10, so, I love Xena and that, so that didn't offend me at all.
Okay, well, the guy that did it is Jeffrey Falcon, who played Buddy, and he actually is a martial artist. But
get out of here.
No, sorry, I won't. He did a lot of Hong Kong style kung fu movies. So he had done that up to the 90s, up to the end of the 90s and stuff. And this actually came out in '98. So, but anyhow, I'm
mostly just picturing those crazy scenes where he's just like flying through the air,
jumping in the air, pulling up.
There wasn't a lot of
There wasn't a lot of fighting necessarily, but
no. I
found it entertaining.
It was.
What would you give it?
Oh, I don't know. What are you giving it?
Doesn't matter what I'm giving it. What are you?
Probably maybe a 6 overall.
Wow. Okay. Because I was going to give it a 4.
Inconceivable!
Shut up.
I'm going to give it a 4, but I'm going to say this is my kind of movie. I like bad, no budget.
Hey, so obviously I don't understand your rating system.
Yeah. Well, it's
loved it. It was your kind of movie, and you're giving it a 4.
But I'm not. But I'm also giving the caveat that, buyer beware. If anybody watching it.
Well, can I give a 9 to the Red Elvises scene?
Yeah.
And then like a 2 to the rest of the movie?
Yes, well.
Okay.
Okay.
Not that equals.
What I was going to
six
say
or
was,
something like that,
I'm going to say that it's worth watching if you really like bad B movies or whatever. Then you should definitely check it out and stuff.
Yeah.
For the general listener out there that's, looking to see, should I watch this movie or whatever, you're probably not going to want to seek it out. If you can get it for free on Netflix, or, you have multiple, if you only get like 1 or 2 movies a month, I wouldn't spend it. But if you can get 3 movies like we do, as soon as you send it back, it might be worth burning one of them if you like it, if you're into, cheap movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to like kids, because I've seen I don't understand how I missed it, but I'd seen a couple scenes before. I don't remember when or where that was. I don't know why it's all a fuzzy blur now, but the story very much focuses on a little boy.
Yeah.
And the relationship between he and Buddy.
Buddy, yeah.
So you have to like kids, and it actually is kind of a warm, fuzzy movie, which is weird.
Yeah, it kind of is.
You find out he's all soft-hearted, and he kind of,
Despite him being all hard and...
Yeah, though he isn't, I don't know how believable he is as like a hard case or whatever, but, yeah, so it was different. It was really, yeah.
Well, it had elements of the Wizard of Oz in there, and there were other movies, too. There was an homage to a lot of different things, so...
Definitely a lot of Wizard of Oz reference.
So check that one out if you have nothing else to do. Paranormal Activity, you should skip it or check it out. Make a point to see it. I think you should see it at least once and make up your own mind. But
I think it's, like I said, just by judging kind of how I feel about it and what I've seen online, if you're interested in that sort of a story, if you really think, houses and people can, be possessed by evil things, absolutely give it a try.
Okay.
Yeah. Because maybe I'm being too hard on it. Maybe I'm just being too sensitive to the actors, but they were not believable for me. I wasn't buying it.
Okay. Well,
unfortunately, because if they'd have been more, they just didn't act how I think real people would have acted.
Okay.
It was too much like a movie, and it reminded me constantly that, this isn't real. It's a movie. It's somebody's trying to make it look like these people are having this problem.
Okay. Well, we'll cut it there since we already kind of covered most everything else.
Yeah, we're just going to start repeating ourselves now.
Yeah. So,
at least I will, because
Okay.
I have nothing else to say about it.
All right.
I wish I liked it better. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's it for this segment, and thanks for listening, and I hope you continue to stick around for Garbage In, Garbage Out, because we got quite a bit to talk about there, too.
Thanks.
Yikes. Go to pennycult.com to check out some of the coolest podcasts on the web. One podcast you should definitely check out is the Dark Hours Horror Podcast. Join your host, Gray, as he takes you deep into the darkest realms of horror. Welcome to our Garbage In, Garbage Out segment. Hi.
You're welcome.
There you go. Thanks. What do you have to add for the Garbage In, Garbage Out?
I was going to say, I got something to talk about.
Let's hear it.
The oblongs.
Oh, you looked at my list, didn't you?
Was that on your list?
It's the first thing on my list.
We watched a lot of oblongs this week.
And plus checking them out at the library, that also helped.
Yeah.
So yeah, Angus Oblong, he's a nut.
Yes, he is. And of course, the oblongs is, we've watched it 100 times, but for some reason this week we've been watching a lot of it.
Well, it's because I put it on the DVR and just told it to tape. It's on Adult Swim. Yeah, on Cartoon Network, right? this week, and I think it comes on at like 10:30 or 11 or whatever. I'm not sure what your local listings might have. But what's the story about?
Gotta look it up. You tell me.
Well, I know already. But anyhow, it's a family that lives down at the bottom of a hill where all the sewage and stuff from the Globoside building is leaked and what have you. So you have a family of, how do I put this politically correctly? I'm just not. A family of mutants or freaks that live down there at the bottom of the hill. And I say that with the utmost love and consideration. You have a dad that's a human torso, no arms, no legs. You have a mom that comes from the hills where everybody's rich and perfect, that live up above Globoside building and Globoside factory. And she was one of the hill people for a while, but
yes.
She now lives in the valley and is an alcoholic and an unattentive mother. You've got Milo, who's one of the
adorable.
Yeah, he's got every possible disorder that you could imagine, though. ADD, and everything. You need to see it to truly gather everything that's going on there. He's got a brother that's two brothers actually that are conjoined twins. Is it two brothers or one brother? What is that? It's two, I guess.
It's two.
Each have different names. Chip and what's the other one?
Biff.
Chip and Biff. And he has a smaller sister. What's her name?
You don't remember?
No, I don't.
Just because there are things I don't remember doesn't make my actions meaningless. The world doesn't just disappear when you close your eyes, does it?
Beth.
Yes, Beth.
He has a little sister named Beth, as well as a rather unique group of friends that have different afflictions from 4 butt cheeks to...
oh, they're not 4 butt cheeks. There's only 2 there. They're just really long.
Oh, that's... Okay.
Yeah. He can turn them into quick clucks.
Yes, he can.
It's funny and sad. That's what he said.
Yes.
That's a line from the, yeah. Those aren't my words.
Anyhow, I think it only ran for about 13 episodes, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can look it up on the IMDb, or hopefully you can find it on the Cartoon Network in your area.
So you were going to talk about where it came from?
I was just going to say that it was actually from Angus Oblong's book, Creepy Susie and Her Friends, I think was the name of it.
Yeah, well, Creepy Susie and other something short stories
that
about
might have been
disturbed children. Or
yeah, there's a total of 13 little stories that are, it's in the adult section of the library. Not adult,
it's not for kids.
But it's not for kids, yeah. But anyhow, they took it and made it a very entertaining series that ran between 2001 to 2002. A lot of fun, worth checking out. What else has been going on? We've been watching Celebrity Apprentice, watching Lost. I know V is coming back. Are you interested at all when it comes back?
Yes.
Okay.
It took a really long break there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I remember where it left off, but yeah, I'm interested because, I mean, I watched the whole series back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which this is nothing like it, of course, but I was a big fan when I was in high school when it aired.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely want to check this out, see what else they did with it.
Okay.
Or to it, or
to
whatever.
it, yeah.
I mean, it's so far so good though.
Yeah, I think so. Moves kind of quick, but yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it then. So let's hope the DVR is set up for it. We've got some episodes of Fear Itself to watch. Friend of ours let us borrow those, hooked us up with those, so we can check those out. From what I hear, they're pretty bad, but we'll see them and judge for ourselves. This is Garbage In, Garbage Out, so again, I'll wrap it up by saying next week is The Good Sisters, and I have no idea what we're in for there, but I will have already covered that by now, so... look forward to that one, and also remember next week is going to be download day. If we can get you to download an episode on the 29th, if everybody downloads an episode just to help bump up our numbers a little bit, that would be awesome. Don't just stream it from wherever you are. I mean, stream it if you can, but also download it if you're on iTunes. That would be
I was going to say, make sure you say how to do that, because everyone I know goes to the web page and just clicks on the episode, they listen to it, and that's it. I don't think they'd even know where to go to download it.
Okay. Well, I'll just put it out there then for the iTunes users to make sure and download it and enjoy the show. So that's it. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and it'll be interesting to see how much I chop this down and how far we've gone over our limit.
Like 40 minutes or something.
Probably we're going to hit an hour episode one of these times, I'm sure. But anyhow, thanks for staying with us, and thanks to the folks in the Netherlands that downloaded us. Thanks to everybody, of course, but thought that was cool. We picked up another couple there. So thanks again, and say goodbye, Lori.
Bye.
The show is over, it was fun. You can bring the curtains down. It's time to take a final bow. It's over now. The show is over, it was fun. You can bring the curtains down.